I actually thought about buying properties. The typical Asian mindset where get a job, right? Get a house.
So whenever it's like Chinese New Year or Raya, my aunties will come to my house and they're like, why don't you have a house yet? You know, my sons, they've already bought their own houses and stuff. And I'll be like, good for you, auntie. I think a lot of people tend to overspend when it comes to property because they think, you know, it's a house. Like, oh, everyone's telling me to do it. All my friends have property, so I want it as well. What's up, guys? I'm Emir and this is The Money Goal. Today I have two guests with me, Aishah and Thinesh. And today we're going to be talking about investing in property. What do we guys what do we think? So, how do you guys feel about investing into properties?
Okay, so I've been thinking about it. Let's start with my background a little bit. So I do not rent and I also do not own a house.
Okay.
I live with my parents. Not really my parents. My mom have houses. So she has one empty one that is kind of close to where I work.
Okay.
So I live there and I take care of that house.
On your own?
Pay maintenance, electric
Nice deal.
bills and all that. Yeah. So I've been thinking because a lot of people said that buying a house is a good investment. Like you can buy the house, you can rent it out, and then you can get money from that. But I'm not sure if that's something that I want to start committing to right now. Like if it's something, if it's a good decision to make. Because a housing loan is like, what, 30 years?
Yeah,
And
actually it goes to 35, I think, these days. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's something worth committing to if it's not going to give me any return.
Okay. So I guess to be clear, you're looking at buying a property to generate returns, not really buying for you to stay, like purely as an investment, from an investment point of view.
Yeah, because I can stay at my house that I have right now.
Okay, yeah. I think there are different views for this. I guess I'll just share what I think about it first. I think the dream, it's a very common thing, right? I think not even just in Malaysia, pretty much all over the world. In the US, back in the days, the American dream was to like own your own property and then investing into it, trying to earn more money, either through, capital appreciation, the price of the house goes up, or like you said, renting it out and then trying to get a yield from it. Just my view, investing into property, I feel like, number one, it's a lot of work. So you need to really understand the property market, right? Like which areas are hot, which areas are up and coming. If we bought into Desa Park City 15 years ago, then of course we'll be rich now, right? But today, trying to know which is the next hot area, I really don't know how to. And I think it takes a lot of work, time and research, right? And then it's also time in terms of renting. So I think a lot of people underestimate the effort it takes to rent out a unit. So I'm renting. Are you?
I'm renting.
You're renting as well, right? Yeah. So whenever there's a problem with the house, like the pipe bocor or whatever, you just call your landlord, right? And they basically have to sort it out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess as a tenant, it's so nice because I don't have to do anything. But then it means that the work falls onto the landlord, which means that I think it's not so simple where you can say, oh, renting is passive income, renting is easy, free money. I feel like you actually have to put work into it. I mean, just the amount of times I call my landlord.
If you think about it, I think the properties that's attractive right now is like housing with condos, apartments, service suites. Those things comes with maintenance fees.
Exactly.
Which we don't really think about it when we're buying property. We think about the loan, but we don't think about plus maintenance that will increase as the years pass. And when you're a landlord, you're responsible for the loan plus
the maintenance. Exactly.
And there's no guarantee that your rent could cover both.
Exactly.
So in the end, you might have to poke out something from your pocket to cover the extra amount that comes out.
Or I have to charge the people
rental
I rent it out to more, and then
that could be.
People might not want to rent.
Exactly. Yeah. So markets are a supply and demand thing, right?
Okay.
I can want to rent it out for 3,000 ringgit, but if everyone else is renting at 2,005, then I mean I can list it and wait but likelihood is no one would take it.
Yeah. That's most likely the situation there.
Yeah. So that's a tricky thing. And then you have to decide between, like, if you want to invest, right, do you buy a condo or do you buy a landed property? So the thing is, just based on historically how things work, right? Usually if you want price to go up, if you're expecting price to go up, it usually only works for landed properties. Condos typically don't appreciate in value just because, once you get a bit older, maybe maintenance is a bit off, the price of the apartment or the condo itself won't really go up.
So houses do depreciate in value.
As in house, as in a landed house? Or?
like
condos.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
condo.
course, of course.
They
Yeah,
do?
yeah,
Oh,
they are,
because
they are.
people have always told me if you buy a house, then every 10 years, 20 years,
Yeah, it's like guaranteed to
like
go up, right? No, yeah, yeah.
I mean, not necessarily
Yeah.
what Emir explained. It also depends on the location and
Marami.
well, like when there's land involved, then there's value to it. But when it's a high rise and it's a shed, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of risks to it.
Yeah, I've also heard a lot of horror stories of people buying into like new developments. And the thing about buying into new developments is you don't know how it will turn out because you're
Yeah.
getting the house brand new, right? And I've heard people buy and then the management basically ignores them completely. So they have issues with like piping, they have issues with like wiring, electricity, and all this stuff, and management just ignores it. So what happens is they can't sell it anymore. No one wants to buy it because everyone knows the management sucks. Yeah, so there are these kind of issues as well. Not just from because this location is not good, but because there are a lot of fundamental issues with the house, you could lose money. Yeah, yeah. So I think it's quite normal actually. A lot of people think or seem to think that, you know, property prices will just
Yeah.
forever go up. But not really lah.
So for in my case, if I'm thinking about buying a house
Yep.
to, you know, invest in it, what are some of the things that I should
Consider.
consider? Yeah.
You should maybe consider alternative investments. No, I'm joking. No.
ASP.
No, so I think maybe I'm a bit biased lah because I'm not a fan.
You wouldn't?
I
invest
wouldn't.
in
I wouldn't.
property?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think I'm a bit biased in the sense that I'm very much. I think there are a lot more benefits through other investments.
Yeah.
I do think that there are people who can invest in property successfully. I've heard of them. You know, people on social media. I even have friends who do it, and they are very successful. But like I said, you have to really have the knowledge about what is undervalued, which areas are going to be good. You know, and all these things. I'm not so interested in it. If you are interested in it to do the research and stuff, then yeah, possible. But otherwise, other investments are just so much easier. That's the thing.
All
It's
I
just
know is
so
that
much easier.
if you buy a house that is in Malaysia, somewhere that floods a lot,
Yeah.
area,
Exactly.
then
It's gonna be an issue, right?
And
It's gonna be an issue.
when you talk about flood again, like flood natural disasters, there's no way to 100% tell when something's developing that there will not be flood there.
Yeah, exactly.
So you will probably want to buy it early on for a better price than
Yep.
a complete project that's gonna be
More expensive.
more
right?
expensive.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of risks to it. I actually thought about buying properties, like, you know, when the typical Asian mindset where, you know, we get a job,
Yeah.
right, get a house.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Bro.
and then I met a friend who doesn't believe in living in the same place.
Yeah.
He believes in renting out throughout his life. That means
Emir.
Just renting. Yeah. I was just gonna say.
so he's not bounded to a single area. Like
Exactly.
he could explore anywhere he wants to.
Exactly.
And he just moves out
Yeah.
and finds a new house, better place.
Exactly.
And he also moves once every 2 years, so that he goes into a better facilities, new items and everything.
That's what I was thinking.
So and then that thing hit me hard. Then
Yeah.
if I have a house and I invest furniture,
Yeah.
electronics, everything, and I'm stuck at this place.
Yeah, exactly. But I have like a lot of my relatives. So whenever it's like Chinese New Year or Raya, my aunties will come to my house and it's like, why don't you have a house yet? You know, my sons, they've all already bought their own houses and stuff, and I'll be like, good for you, auntie. I'm so happy for your sons. But I think a lot of people buy just because of expectations as well, right? Not just because they want to, but because everyone expects them to also own a house by a certain age, which I think it's not really necessary lah.
I think that's a really toxic culture right now.
But what if I am so degil,
And you want to, right?
still want to invest in a
Okay.
property? What should I consider?
Okay, location. I think
Location.
when it comes to investments, right, for property, have you heard of the thing where people say the top 3 most important things when choosing a property for investments is location, and location?
Okay.
That's basically it. Yeah, that's
Close
literally
to
it.
MRT and all that.
The thing is, I think nowadays a lot of apartments are close to MRT, right?
That's
Just
right.
because there's new MRT lines everywhere.
They are even discussing to build apartments over MIT.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunately, I think the ones that really go up in value are the ones that really bloom into a big township, like TTDI back in the days, like DPC that I was talking about, right? That's Park City and stuff. But let me just share with you a bit of like pros and cons lah, of investing into real estate versus other assets, right? Because I've had this argument many times before with people online, just because I like to. Yeah, so Number one is barrier to entry. So barrier to entry, if you invest into, let's say, ASB or stocks, extremely low. All right, anybody can do it. I want to start 100 ringgit today. Fine, go for it. Property barrier to entry is a lot higher lah. We have to, like you said, the value of the property is very high. The commitments are high. It's long, and you have to pay a big down payment. So barrier to entry, property loses in a way.
Yes.
And then there's liquidity. So liquidity essentially means how fast can I get my cash back if I needed it. Again, ASB, just withdraw. Stocks, just sell and withdraw. Property, of course you can sell it, but you're not gonna get the cash tomorrow, right? You list it up, you prepare everything. By the time everything is said and done, maybe 6 months.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Yeah. So liquidity, again, property loses. Returns, I think I don't want to get into returns because returns vary lah. Sometimes stocks do better, sometimes real estate does better. Really can't say. So the only argument that I've heard for property investing compared to other assets is that with property, you get a lot of leverage, which essentially means I can put down 40,000 ringgit and I can get a 400,000 ringgit house, right? For a 400,000 ringgit house to go to 440,000, it's not that hard lah. It's just a 10% increase, right? But a 10% increase, you only put 40,000 down and you got already a 40,000 return. So that's 100% returns. And it's all because of leverage lah. You put in 40K, I own an asset that's worth 400K, right? Whereas with ASB and stuff like that, you put in 40K, your investment value is basically 40K lah. Yeah, so that is, I would say, the only benefit of investing into real estate. But of course, it's a double-edged sword. You can also lose that 40K just as quickly and easily as you could make. Yeah, so that is pretty much how I think about it. But again, I'm not like bashing anyone who likes to invest into real estate. I think there are opportunities. It's just not for me. And I think for the general population, not so worth it lah. Yeah.
Especially for me who wants to start investing.
Yeah, unless you like it lah. Unless you like it lah.
Yeah, like what Emir said, if you like it. I also have another friend who invests in property, who wakes up at 3 a.m. every day to think about properties. So what he told me was, when you buy properties with let's say you buy your first house, and when you apply for a loan, that will be your total income against the loan. And when you manage to rent it out, that actually becomes your income. And let's say you make a 200 ringgit profit out of it. Your loan is 1,000 ringgit, and then you rent it out for 1,002, and you make a 200 ringgit profit. So when you apply another loan to buy another property, you could actually show your income as like plus 200.
Yeah. Your rental income counts as your income. They basically go super leverage like a lot of houses. Actually, it could work. It's just not.
If you hit the jackpot, then yes. But also, he told me there are days where he made a bad investment, and he had to pay like 4 mortgages at once, and he only could eat like 1 meal a day.
Only eat 1 meal a day.
Yeah, he could only afford 1 meal a day.
Just because he has to pay his mortgages and stuff.
Yeah, and he couldn't really pay all 4. So what he will do is he'll alternate between two. Like this month he'll pay 2, that month.
Yeah.
Till he gets back on his feet. I think it was during COVID. Like,
probably really bad time for the property market.
So that could happen too. You buy a house, COVID hits, or it could boom. So
Okay, put aside property. What about land?
Land in general?
Somewhere in like Malacca or random places.
Actually, yeah. So it's again the same thing, right? The same principles of like location. If you buy a piece of land in Malacca, like a super outskirt kampong area, and then all of a sudden, like they decide to build a data center there, it's like jackpot, right? You hit the jackpot. Yeah, but again,
a ladang getah or something that I believe.
That would be.
So when it comes to land, we should think about investing. I tanya je. No, I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
So like with houses, I get it. We get returns from renting it out.
Yep.
So does that same principle would work for land, or we need to invest more on like getting kelapa sawit or getah onto it?
Yeah.
It depends if you can rent it out lah. You guys know that a lot of the property developers are also in the agricultural space. Like Sam Dhabi, IOI, all these names, they have like palm oil plantations in good locations. They will sell palm oil and everything, and then once they think it's ready to turn into a township, they'll basically just chop everything off and build houses. That is their entire strategy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, so the palm punya that we see is not forever there.
It's not forever, yeah. That's why they own land in Sepang, for example. When you drive to the airport, you see Sepang, a lot of palm oil, right? Those land is so much more expensive than doing it in like Perak. So I always wonder, why do they own that land? That's why plant my palm oil in Perak, right? It's not like Selangor palm oil is going to taste better than Perak palm oil. But it's basically that lah. They're just waiting for Sepang to be ready to become a township, and then they'll start developing houses.
So they're not investing in palm oil, they're actually investing in real estate.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, that is a consideration for you if you wanted to do something like that. But I guess just out of curiosity, so why do you think real estate would be a good investment for you? Like, what attracts you to it? Is it the returns or the cash flow?
I feel like when I thought about it, I thought I'd be able to, get money when people rent it.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
And then if one day I feel like I want to live there, I can just live there. I mean, I just have a house.
Yeah. I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Or if I have a few houses, right? One day if I'm old enough, I can sell all of it.
Yep.
And make money out of
the
houses that I already have. So that's how I process
it makes sense. I think it makes sense. Yeah. Also, I think one reason that a lot of people like to invest in property versus stocks or ASB is that when I invest into property, I see a house, right?
Yeah.
I see a house, like, wow, this is my investment, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you invest to ASB, like, yeah, they do invest into like Maybank and CIMB, but I mean, it's not like that's your company, right? Yeah. So I think that's what a lot of people think as well. So I'll just split this into two different aspects in terms of my view. One is if you're really looking for rental yield, right, which is like cash flow. There is another option, which is REITs. Have you guys heard of it?
No.
Yeah, so it's something called real estate investment trusts. And it's listed on the stock market, it's listed on Bursa. And there are a lot of these companies that basically own real estate. They rent out the units, and then the profits they distribute it to shareholders, which is you. So I'll give you guys an example. You know, KLCC is a listed REIT on Bursa. You can actually own KLCC.
The Twin Towers.
Yes, a portion of it, a part of it.
Own it.
Yeah, a part of it, not the whole. Unless you have a lot of money, then.
Money in my
Let's discuss after this if you have that kind of money. Yeah. And then there is my favorite REIT probably is IGB REIT. So IGB owns Mid Valley and Gardens.
Ooh.
I live near Mid Valley, and every time I go there, it's full. Like weekends, full. Weekday after work, full.
Yep.
Sometimes I take leave and I go on a weekday during lunch, full.
Yep.
So you see, at least then I invest my money. I still get the liquidity because I can sell my shares anytime. But Mid Valley it's such a good property, right? They can always increase rent. Like every time one tenant's out, another one comes in. Right? So they are very profitable, and they do give a pretty good yield, 5%, 6% a year. So if you invest 1,000 ringgit, you can expect 60 ringgit a year. Investing into that. Yeah. So that is, if you're looking at yield, I would prefer to invest into REITs lah. That's my thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But I also know that there is a less rational, more emotional aspect to property ownership lah.
Yep.
Right? Which back then when I was younger, I also had the thinking where it doesn't make sense at all. Why would I buy? Logically, I have all these arguments about liquidity and all that stuff. But then as I grew older, I realized that actually it's nice to have a house, right? Actually, it's quite nice. So there is that aspect as well. And I also decided to buy a house because, like you said, I don't plan to stay there now. I plan to just rent it out, try to get some money from it. I don't expect to make crazy amounts of money. But the only reason I decided to buy it is because I thought, maybe one day if I want to stay there, I can. Or maybe let's say one day if my mom wants to stay somewhere, okay, she can stay in this place if she wanted to. So there is that other aspect that goes beyond finance lah. That could make sense for you if you wanted to invest into property.
If you're 80 years old and you're still renting,
yeah,
suddenly your tenant say, I want to live here, and then
your landlord kicks you out, right? Yeah, you have to move and everything. You have to find another place. It's a bit tricky lah. Yeah.
I'm thinking about it in a long term.
Yeah. I would say then in that aspect, I would say if you can afford the property, do a bit of research lah, to try and figure it out. I'm no expert in property as well. You could do it, but I wouldn't say like this is all my investments. If buying the house means that you cannot save or invest any extra money at the end of the month, then I think it's not such a great choice. But if it's just, let's say the mortgage is 10%, 20% of your total salary, and you can still save another 10, 20% in other things, then I think it could make sense. It could make sense, yeah. But I mean, I don't know about the returns and stuff lah.
I'm just speaking about like 10, 20% out of your salary.
Yep.
How much is a healthy amount that I should be paying for my mortgage?
For your mortgage? Okay, so for places that you stay at, general rule of thumb is you don't want to spend more than 30%.
30%.
Yeah, you don't want to spend more than 30%. I guess if you are on a lower income, then it might be difficult to be below 30%. So maybe you can stretch it a bit, 35 maybe, 40%. But I think once you get to the higher incomes, you don't want to go crazy. I know people who are on, let's say, even a 20K salary, and then they buy a 2 million ringgit house, it's 10,000 a month, which I think is crazy. Wow. Yeah. And that's why
10,000 a month.
Yeah. And that's why people can't save money, because
I need to start selling palm oil.
because a lot of people, they have they earn 20K a month, they buy a 2 million house, they earn 30K a month after promotion. What do? This 2 million house not good enough for me anymore. It's time for me to get a 3 million ringgit house, right? Then their mortgage keeps going up and up and up forever. Yeah, so it can get quite crazy. I think a lot of people tend to overspend when it comes to property because they think, it's a house. I'm gonna stay here long term. They start dreaming about, their kids running around in the garden. It's like, it's okay lah, I'll just stretch and try to pay for it. But I think a lot of people get stuck with property that they probably stretch too far for lah. Yeah.
Once you rent, it's easy to downgrade.
Exactly. Yep.
But when you own it, it's not gonna be that easy to figure out things.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I think about as well. Because I'm a bit on an unstable income. Right. So if I buy a really nice property now, like you said, if let's say something were to happen to my income lah, I could sell it and then buy a cheaper house. But like I said, it's not so easy, right? The process of all this is quite long. If I'm renting, I could just, once my contract ends, I can't afford this anymore, I'm just going to downgrade and live somewhere cheaper for a year, for example. So it gives you a lot more flexibility in life. I would say you're so young, right? Okay, Iris. Same age.
You're the same.
No, I'm trying to say I'm young also, that's what I mean. We are so young, right?
We're not even 30.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to lock myself into these kind of big commitments,
okay,
right?
Okay, so if I want to invest now,
Yeah.
where can I put my money? You know.
I think, okay, not financial advice now. No, there's so many options. It really depends on your risk tolerance. So if you want just stable yield, just put Amanah Saham every year.
Yes.
5%, 5.5%, nearly risk free. Okay, nearly, I would say nearly risk free.
Okay.
Right, you can't really lose money. So you don't have to go through the headache of finding a property, signing the loan, taking on the risk that the house could, fall in value, or imagine your tenant doesn't pay. Honestly, that's my nightmare. What if I own a house and your tenant doesn't pay and you have to call them, and if they don't want to pay, you have to bring them to court. Oh my goodness.
What happens if they're squatters, Ken?
Yeah, oh God, I can't imagine. So let's just forget all about that. You want 5% yield, 6% yield? Just put it in ASB. So simple. I'll do it right now on your phone if you wanted to, yeah. But that's one option. That's one option. If you wanted a bit more risk, right? You guys are not looking for, let's say, you're not looking for monthly cash flow lah. Then you can look for things like Bitcoin. You can look for things like stocks. I think these are all good options as well for long-term investments. And then if you want that real estate exposure, I think some people still want it. Like I said, REITs lah. There are a lot of REITs you can choose from. They're like Sunway, KLCC, IGB. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Yeah, it's quite cool to think that when I go into Mid Daily, I pay the parking. Yeah, I pay parking 5 ringgit. I feel hurt. It's like, it's okay. It's going back to me. But yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I feel about property lah. Like I said again, I think everyone will have different views. It's just you have to really choose based on your preferences. Don't get sucked into all this everyone's telling me to do it. All my friends have property, so I want it as well. Just really think about all the different investment options that you have. Right? There's no right or wrong answer. Just what's right for you.
True. There's no property.
Okay.
Risk free.
Yep.
So don't listen to people.
Don't listen to people. Just listen to yourself. All right. That's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you very much, guys. See you all in the next one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.